Hello people internet, and welcome back to the Unnamed Park, the show where we build a theme park and forget to give it a name. In this thrilling episode, we explore possibly my best work yet with a parachute tower, a dueling coaster, and a not western area. And of course, I'm editing this in the middle of the night. I need sleep. So sit back, relax, and maybe grab a snack for another 40-minute long episode of me building and planning Coaster 2. Hello Internet, and welcome back to our Unnamed Planet Coaster Park. Today we're building a dueling coaster, which is, I thought was the first time I ever did this, but then I realized, oh wait, I did one in the last park we did on Planet Coaster 1. But that one's a little different because it's a Mobius coaster, not a racing coaster like this one. So this one's very different to that. It's more classic, to say. So yeah. We have our racing coasters to be built probably in the late 70s, like probably 70s or 80s. The main inspiration for this one was Rolling Thunder Great Adventure. Like, honestly, we seem to just be doing Great Adventure's defunct coasters or defunct rides. Like, I don't like it's pretty much that's all we're doing. But yeah, but you know. I like this. So yeah, this was a fun one to do. This is probably my best area I've ever made in this game, period, I think. In actually either game. Like, this area is really good. I am really pleased with this coaster and this entire area. Like, I don't know. You'll see, like, later on in the episode, but, like, I am so happy with how this turned out. So, yeah. The main inspiration was Rolling Thunder, A Great Adventure. R.I.P. Yeah, it was not letting me, move the track. I don't know why. I'm trying to get it to the sports generator to do custom sports, because no one wants to do that. That was not. I did do some custom sports, but it was not fun. But yeah. So this was a very unique coaster. I mean, I guess not quote unquote unique, because like I was trying to keep the trains pretty close together that entire lap, but I was making sure that each side was distinctly different. Now, if you ask me, I'd say blue is definitely the better track to ride. But yeah, so right here, I was honestly just thinking, like, how am I supposed to like make this layout work? Because I gotta like dodge hyperbump, making it seem like the wooden coaster came first. So I didn't want to like do like sort of like a Z around it. Yeah. But I say this later in the episode, but like the one problem I have with this coaster is it's too smooth. Like, it's a very classic wood coaster, and I made it way too smooth for its own good. Like, we're just saying like it got retracked recently or something, and now it's really smooth. But like, it should not be this smooth. But other than that, like, I'm super happy with how this coaster turned out. Literally every element flows perfectly. Too perfectly, like. That's the problem. Like, feels a little awkward, a little too smooth, like nothing happens, and doesn't have like that texture that wooden coasters have. But you know, it's fine. It's still a great layout. This is my first time doing a dueling coaster. I'll get better at it as the years go on. You know, I don't know when the next park will be, but you know, it'll be eventually, I think. But yeah. So, how are you guys? You know. Not that I can hear your response, but you know, whatever. So yeah, what has happened in theme parks in the past time since I've done an episode? What do we have? Yeah, for everything this was broken. I don't know why. It wouldn't let me do my normal strategy to move stuff. So I just did that and I fixed it. But yeah, so what has happened? It was announced today Blue Blasters is closing at Kings Island, and Vertigo is probably closing at Kings Island, which is fine. King Nikon's replacement got delayed. I think that was before last episode though. I don't remember. Which is a shame, but you know, whatever, we'll get it eventually. It's I don't know what it is at this point. Like, it's probably the tower coaster, but like, it's a very weird setup for from the drone shots we have. It's very bizarre. I don't understand what they're doing, but you know, we'll figure it out in due time. But yeah, so yeah, I was trying, you can see like me here trying to make like the layouts a little different. This didn't stay like I like knew what I wanted to start, but then it sort of just like became something else, like, you know, it always does. The ride layout was actually pretty different for Rolling Thunder. Now I realize it. Like, I didn't like go in like I only saw one POV of Rolling Thunder from one side, not both sides. I think it was the left track. And Rolling Thunder's tracks are very different, or were very different. Like, they don't turn the same. It's really weird. Like, but on this one, I made sure the valleys were actually lined up, so because I wanted them to race through them. Now they don't. You can see that blue comes out a little bit faster through both sides, through both hills, which is fine because it has a wider turn. I mean, that doesn't really change anything because it's lower, but you know, I want to make sure they're like roughly on track with each other, so it works out. And in my opinion, blue is the better side, I think. Like, from a nerd perspective, I think blue is the more thrilling side. But they're really pretty much identical. Now, right here, I did actually decide I'm just going to make these two. Most of the rides just like them taking the same elements, just in reverse. And with different height turns. That's pretty much all the ride is. But, you know, they're still different layouts. These two hills are like pretty intense. They're like basically just ejector hills on blue. Red, only the second hill's ejector. But you know, yeah. For most of the layout, blue is ahead. But then I changed it, and after this turn, next turn that's coming up, once I finish terrain painting, yeah, this is kind of a terrain coaster. I don't want to change the blanket terrain. Because, you know me, I did this in Rocket Landing. Like, I like to use the Planko terrain to make it work. Park like work well. Now, some of the Planko 2 terrains are really weird. Yeah, you can see me designing the layout. It is usually a good idea to like. Yeah. That's what I wanted to avoid doing. You don't want it to like bend around something, especially if like it makes it seem like the hypercoaster was there first, which it wasn't. This was here like decades before the hypercoaster. And yeah, honestly, this area's the entire backside of the park is complete now, pretty much. Like, but yeah, so right here you'll see me basically just like, sorry, I'm pretty tired. I've had like a pretty long weekend. It was a pretty rough weekend, but you know, we had fun, like mini golfing, you know. Still got to do my schoolwork. I have 20 days left to do that, which I'll get done, like I always do. Like, but yeah, so I just got distracted by my own work. What a nerd. Yeah, there's no custom supporting this layout. This in this time lapse, this entire layout only took me like an hour to build. Which is honestly surprising. I made 2 coasters in an hour. Like, and they're pretty realistic. The forces all make sense. Like, sure, some hills have a little bit intense ejector, but then again, real life classic coasters have ejector. Like, Phoenix Echo Nobles, Phoenix Echo Nobles. I don't know. I can't think of really any others. Most of them are just floater, but you know. Sometimes we're just gonna say this ride was not thought out very well, because it wasn't. But usually they just design these on paper, you know, and then construct them on site. So like a lot of the forces probably wouldn't have been calculated perfectly. Like obviously, maybe not some of the, or maybe like gravity came in and made these hills more intense later on. I don't know. Maybe this ride gets timberliners eventually. I have no idea. But you know, whatever. But yeah, so yeah, now I'm just testing a lot of testing just to see how fast they're going through, like where they are. You can see red comes out ahead right there. That's the first time red is ahead, because it takes a lower, faster turn and tighter turn. Yeah, I was making sure they're still pretty close together. Like, oh yeah, then this element they take the same element, but they take it in reverse basically. Basically, red does a double down, blue does a double up, and this honestly contributes to blue being pretty behind at the end. Like, it's almost a full train behind, but you know, it worked out. You can still see it from red at every single moment, so it works. Like I was trying to make it like actually perfect. Like, I really it felt like it was like didn't look right. So yeah, and it ended too low on this one. I mean, that's because like it starts lower than it ends, but like, you know, I'm just a moron and didn't realize that. So yeah, basically this entire layout was just like trying to make it perfect. You know, this is like probably one of the best coasters I've ever built, and I love this coaster. It's a really good one. Yeah, this is a pain in the butt to custom support because like I didn't really get where I was going with it. Like, I didn't really understand what I was doing here. But yeah, because like I didn't realize at the time, but like going into the lift hill made this thing so much harder to custom support because there's diagonal bracing right there on the lift hill. So it goes through them. It basically just cuts them off, which was pretty smart of me, and just use a steel band to support the track, which is what you would usually do. Yeah, it was a lot easier than I expected though. Definitely get some good head choppers too. But yeah, so yeah, and at the end you'll see in a little bit, but like I wanted them to like meet up, do the exact same elements for a couple bits, and then they do a turn into the brake run. Like, very simple layout, very weird. I mean, not weird, it's just like weirdly shaped layout. It looks a little odd from off-ride. Like, mostly dueling coasters like will have pretty wide footprints, but like, I mean, this one does, but like it looks a little small considering next to some dueling coasters. Like Racer Kings Island has or Racer Clones have like those PTC big woodies, racing woodies. They have a section where there's four track segments basically right across from each other, which makes the track support structure look very wide. So does American Eagle. Those big wooden coasters that you use to like those big tall wooden coasters, they are basically just like these just have very wide support structures, and it makes them look a lot more imposing. But this one only has a two cross structure, so it looks a little smaller in my opinion. I don't know what I'm saying here. Why did I call it pink? I don't know what I was doing here. Oh, I was trying to get it to line up. That makes sense. Yeah, this is a fun build, you know. Yeah, I pretty much just restate the same thing for like 10 minutes. Anyway, since I don't know if anyone's really gonna be watching this, next episode is gonna be a fun one. You know, one of these coasters was pretty recently removed. This is if I stick with the idea I'm thinking, because I think this is the only I want to do one in this park, and I think this is the only spot I really can due to something that's coming later in the park series, which you'll find out in probably like a few months. So yeah, no spoilers there. Yeah, right here you can see, very good tool. The terrain point is amazing when you're doing this, because without that it would not be possible to really make this coaster work. So yeah, right here you can see we have one turn to do, but it's a little difficult because there's two tracks and it's basically a perfect 90-degree turn. It's a little over, but it's a little difficult. So what you got to do, you just draw a terrain point, and it helps so much. You make a straight line and then on both ends, and you make a curve, and it lines up perfectly. It works. Basically what I did was the autocomplete method, I'm not going to lie. That was probably the best thing. It worked perfectly. So then I split the track, split them into smaller segments so I can actually, make this thing work. Yeah. Honestly, that kind of looks cool. Maybe could have left it like that, but I didn't want the catwalks showing, and I wanted basically the catwalks to be lined up perfectly. So I wanted them basically just be lined up exactly next to each other, basically the exact same turn except blue takes it tighter. So yeah, it works perfectly. And this entire area is forested at the end, so like you can't see anything. You can't see really anything from the park. Like, you can't really see this ride from the park at all, which I do love. Like, not even really the hyper you can see it. It's just sort of like in its own realm. But yeah, anyway, the time lapse is going to end in a minute, so I will see you guys in a moment. Alright, people, we're back in the park, and here's the plot of land we have today. This is easily the biggest plot of land we've worked with. This series, like, this is probably the smallest one. This is second smallest. This is probably the biggest one we've had so far. But this entire area is huge. So, honestly, I might have to split this up in 2 episodes. I don't really know. I'm going to see if I can get it done. If it's not, it's just going to be one really big episode. So, I have started a little bit. This is a blueprint for the workshop. The problem is the blueprint uses too much scaling mod, and I don't have it. So I have been modifying it a little bit. So I need to redo the seats, parachutes. I have redone parts of the tower, like I've replaced the wood beams with steel beams, recolored that, replaced the door, then cleaned up here because a lot of the beams were clipping. Just normal stuff that you have to do to make stuff look good. But since now it's cleaned up, the parachute tower literally just completes this. Like Skyline from Dive Coaster, for example. Like that just makes this area look so much better. So yeah. Now I have done the trees for this already because this was not going to be the first update. But let's go through the layout. So you do 2 turns into a little block wheel section. Trim brake, it's not a lock brake, and then into the lift hill, which is 30 degrees. It might be honestly too steep, but it's fine. Then you go into the drop. It's probably about 45, maybe 50 degrees. Then into red goes into a camelback, blue goes into a shorter camelback, but I guess it's closer to a speed hill. And then they do this switch, so blue does the camelback, red does the speed hill. Then they do this turn, which red does the higher but tighter one, blue does the lower but wider turn, blue does an injector hill, red does the camelback, then they switch, blue does the camelback, red does an injector hill, they do turn, and then they do, red goes into a double down, blue goes into double up, blue's double down, up is a little bit slow, but then they do 2 airtime hills. Probably get some good floater maybe. Then they do a turn, which blue catches up a little bit. And then a hill into the brakes, where red wins every single time. and Ray gets back at the tree. But yeah, then they do a turn into the block break right here, where then they park into the station. So it's a pretty long ride. Well, I guess not really that long. It's a pretty tame ride, but it's like the first time I've ever done a dueling wooden coaster. And this was cool because like I was sort of trying to figure out how I'm supposed to do this like the entire time. But yeah, so right here we have what will eventually be the station. You have to go over the track to get out of the area because of my amazing planning. Yeah, it was completely my fault. But yeah, so what you do is you go over it, and then you go down here, sort of like how King Ka was. The station, I can't. My mouse is moving. Okay, that's why. So the station is absolutely gigantic. It is huge, but it needs to be. So the base is like probably about as low as I can get it without it like knocking your head. So I'm fine. Not the base, the roof. So yeah, it's gonna be like very rustic theme. That's why I already have the foundation in place. Just wanted to see how it looks. But yeah, right here is either gonna be a seating area or a playground. I don't know if a park this size would have a playground, but you know, I might. Then we're gonna have a bunch of buildings. We have 4 buildings over here to do. So this is gonna be an ice cream shop, I think. Either that or a small restaurant. This could be the ice cream shop. This could be the restaurant. This could be a gift shop. This is gonna be maybe an arcade if we get them. I'll leave this one empty in case we do. Restroom and then a gift shop. Because I don't want to have 2 gift shops right next to each other. If not, we can have like a makeshift arcade. We'll pretty much find out what's going to happen on Wednesday with the Frontier unlocked. I'm honestly surprised that they're even telling us that they're doing anything for Planet Coaster. So, we'll see. I hope they do, because I really want something. I have a small hunch that they might do a DLC. If they do anything, I have a hunch that the next update will give us a DLC. That is I have absolutely zero evidence to back that up, but I have a hunch this next update will give us a DLC. Anyway, yeah. So I have realized. Oh wait, I did do this side of the foliage over here. It's not perfect. I don't know if I'm a fan of it, but I probably will just deal with it. But yeah, so I'll figure it out eventually. I might do flowers there. But yeah, so next on the agenda is I'm gonna figure out how to do how I'm gonna do this, because like I can't even see what's going on here. Like I'm so confused. Why are the cables down there? Like, what the heck is this? Why does nothing connect to that? I'm like really confused on this. I'm gonna have to like figure out how I'm gonna do this, but we'll see. So yeah. Oh, here's a funny thing I did. There's invisible pads somewhere on this. Yeah, right here. Right there. Side the supports. It's not the same on the other side too. I'm gonna do some custom supporting on this because this is a little bare bones. You know, Rolling Thunder had diagonal supports on all the hills, which I don't really think I'm gonna do, because I think honestly the bare bone structure. This looks good. This looks a little odd. I think I'm going to put something on the sides of the lift hill. And that's about it. You don't really need much. It's a wooden coaster. Like, this is pretty much... The wooden coaster sports are pretty good in this game. So, yeah, it's fine. Yeah. So, I think that's it. Yeah. This is pretty good progress for only 4 episodes of work. Like... We've pretty much gone entire around the lake, way around the lake. Next couple episodes we're gonna finish up the lake, and then, yeah, then we're gonna go down to the bulk of the park over here, which I might do some terrain differences. I don't really know. I'll figure it out. I could do a separate lake. We could have like a river going down, then have another lake down here, which would be cool. Honestly, I could do. I think I kind of want to have a water park in this series too, but we'll see how my computer allows that. Yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys in a moment with the next update. Alright people, and we have made some significant progress on this entire build site. So yeah, I have decided I'm going to do the entire thing in one episode, which is pretty ambitious of me, but you know, you got to do what you got to do to build this park. So I've done a lot, literally all across the park. So let's start at the very front of the build site, where we have this new fence. Yeah, that's about it over there. It goes all the way around here. I just wanted to like basically block off the hyper. Then we changed the color of this ride. I thought it was a little too bright, so I changed it to this nice soft blue and red. You know, it's a little less jarring. Then you go further down the road. You come to this building, which serves the one purpose of blocking the view of the track, which it will when it is done. I don't want you to be able to see these sections of track. I might try and I'll do something about that with foliage, but I don't want you to see this valley from the entrance over from the Coasters Plaza over there. So we have this nice white brick building that will honestly probably be pretty hideous when it's done, but you know, I like it so far. I don't really know. I'm thinking I'm gonna go something like the parachute tower. Probably would have been built around that time. I used these fairy tale pieces as basically just concrete walls. It works really well. I've used that trick a bunch of times in the park. I've used it over, or I guess not a bunch of times, over here as well, which is actually smaller. Yeah, I'm contemplating lowering it. I think it might be a little too high, but it's probably fine. Then I have not finished this building. I think I was doing something like this and I don't really like it. So I think I'm going to just try and redo it. I don't really know what I want to do with it. But yeah, basically we're just trying to make this area look really cool. Then we have this building, which is inspired by a Chickies and Pete's at Dorney Park. It's not done yet, as you can see, but we started it. Then we had the parachute tower, which is not done, but I have done some detailing. Like I put these like anchors in the ground where the zip line or where the wires would go. You know, I finished the extra building we didn't need. Haven't put the parachute on yet because I am actually thinking about how we can make this move. I want to try and get the parachute tower to move. The thing is, I don't know how motion devices work in this game, so if I do it, it's probably not going to be done this episode because I am an idiot when it comes to that. Like, I have no idea how it works. So yeah. Now a lot of people have been saying, or some people might say this looks like Western. It's not. It's just rustic, but it's basically gonna be Western. If I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna be Western without the Western theming. So, which is why we have our sign. Racer's not the final name. You might know that. You might have seen me say that on Discord. In a few different servers, I said that. But I made this custom sign because I did have it as the ranch gateway. I didn't really like it, so I decided to make my own custom gateway, which, you know, we have red and we have blue. And I made this custom queue cover because it looks nice. Yeah. So as you can see, I did a ton of work. This is a huge area, and we haven't added a flat ride. So I might continue this fence around. You know, I think that probably could be a good idea. And I will change the color. I don't really know what color it's gonna be, but you know, I'm pretty sure this is a DLC flat ride. So yeah, this is the first thing from the DLC you will need if you want to load this park. So yeah, I think it is at least. I don't actually know. But yeah, so I think that's it, right? But yeah, this is a pretty big plot of land to build, and I have added these planters in the middle, you might notice, and on this side. So the path is a lot smaller now, right here. It's not really choke point though, because this path is still really wide. Like, where's the guest? I have a guest dummy right here. Like, compared to the guest, it's still pretty big. Which means that this path is absolutely giant. Like, it's way bigger than it needs to be. So yeah, next park I will make sure that I don't do that again, because that is way too big. But yeah, so it's coming together, you know. Like, there's gonna be a lot. Like, I'm basically planning this entire area is just be forested, basically. Like, with one caveat, I want you to be able to see the coaster from this path right here, because this is a really cool view. Like, even from the bridge over here, I don't think you're able to see most of it from the bridge, just because of the planner right here, but the planner right there, but at least from right here I want you to all see it because it's a really cool looking view. It's just a really pretty coaster. I do like it, which actually brings to the next point. I did do custom sporting. This is, I looked at the piece count, it is 3,000 pieces, or I think 3,500. That might be. Let's actually check. 3,631 pieces. So yeah, it's not a small area. And then we have a transfer tracker here. This is inspired by Mean Streak's transfer track. Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same. Just meant to, like, basically be a transfer track. You know, that's what it is. And we had the shop right here. The not shop, maintenance shed. So yeah, and fencing and stuff. This patch is there so I can get good views. You know. Yeah, the parachute shower literally just like completes the sightline of so many areas. Like this one, I'm thinking I'm gonna change the color of this ride. I don't really like it, but it just completes the sightline of Dive Coaster's area. Like, it just makes this park look so much cooler. Like, makes it look like much more like a less generic skyline. Like Great Adventure was. Not anymore, because now it looks like more of a generic Six Flags skyline. But with King Ka and the Parachute Tower and Green Lantern right on the parking lot, you had like the most like surreal skyline possible. And now that they ripped everything out, it just looks like a bland Six Flags, which is sad. But you know, yeah, I have added the pirate ship ride. We're probably not gonna be doing this plaza next week. I'm thinking of doing the western area back here, but I don't know what's gonna be here. But I do think we're gonna do the kids area up front next. And I want to finish the lake before we move on to this area. And actually, I have done a little bit more. I have added more plants everywhere. Pretty much just this reed plant I've literally added all throughout the park. Because like, I don't know why, I was like obsessed with that plant in the first park, or in the last series that we did, and now I just haven't used it since, and it makes the areas look a lot more alive. You know, like before it just looked kind of dead. You know, it still kind of does. This area looks kind of dead, but like, you know, it's whatever. I might actually replace. Now I'm thinking about it, I might replace this fence entirely. I don't really like it. I think it's probably like one reason I don't really like this area of the park. I think it just this path specifically, I just don't like. There's like nothing on it. It just looked really bad, to be honest. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, that is all we have for this update. I'm going to see you guys in a moment with the final finished product. Alright, people, after 3 weeks of work, we are finally done with this build. And you know, this is probably the best area in any park I've ever built. Now, there's a few things that aren't finished. This gift shop I haven't done, and this room over here I haven't done. I just don't know what I want to put in there. I'll do this eventually. But yeah, I really made it a point that I wanted each building in this area to be different. And I also did flowers right here. Just looks nice. You know, I like it. You know, it's a really beautiful area. I'd say I wanted this to be like a very forested area. Now, this isn't as much forest as I originally wanted. However, there's like also no way that I'm getting that much forest in this area. So, like, you know, yeah. Let's start with the station. The station is now finished. It looks like this with flooring in there. I was a little worried that the floor looks a little too fancy. I don't really know if it does, but it's probably fine. But yeah, then we have the ride, which I think I did the custom books last time. But yeah, it's finished. And like, I really love that you just can't see the ride from most of the ride from the pathways. Like, you can see this hill right here. You can see the lift hill and the drop. You can sort of make out the hill over there from certain angles. But most of the ride is just completely hidden from the entire park, besides maybe like the top of the parachute tower, which I do have parachutes on. It's a little janky because I don't have the scaling mod, but it works, I guess. Like, if it looks fine, I guess. I don't hate it. Now, I did have a ride. We have the Tourbillon, which it's done, you know. Honestly, this thing would probably be on its way out. Like, this will technically be the last of its kind in the world. Same with the Parachute Tower. So we have two last of their kind attractions just right next to each other. It's kind of crazy, but, you know. Yeah, then we have a restaurant right here, which is honestly a really good interior. I do love this one. I really tried to like blend in the actual restaurant right into the rest of the counter, and I think it made it work. I mean, I did coat the entire thing, but you know, it's fine. Then we have portraits on the wall again. I will get new ones eventually when we finish the park, but for now we're just gonna have to deal with the duplicate ones. I put some benches, picnic benches right outside. You know, we have this nice little grove of trees with hedges around it. I think it breaks the area perfectly. You know, makes the area a little less dead, more alive, you know. Then we have the windmill right here and our racing coaster, which looks beautiful. And then we have a gift shop right here. I'm not a fan of this gift shop. I don't think it's that good. It looks a little weird. I think maybe it might be the floor, blending with the wall too much. I might go back and experiment with changing the floor, but for now it works. And then we have our bar. Kinda. It's just a soda delightful sand, which I did actually make a pool table. So if you want to play pool in the park, you can. It's an okay pool table. You can download it if you want it, but yeah. I like it. We have these bar stools. Actually, that goes back to my favorite thing about this. One of my favorite things. This is probably the best interior. These two buildings are the best interiors I've ever made. Like, I love this. The shop is beautiful. And then we have this ice cream shop. I really wanted to feel like bland and like very corporate style, like very gray, boring, sort of like modern McDonald's. And I think I made it work. You know, we had the bar stools right here for the ice cream. If anyone has like any things that you could put on it, yeah. But then we have ice cream right here, which is made from soil. You know, I wouldn't want to eat these because it's all basically just spray painted soil. But you know, it looks like ice cream. Like, it works perfectly. So yeah, I think that's about it. Like, honestly. And then we do have fences around this. But yeah, let's just go like through a walkthrough of the queue, because like the queue looks good. We're gonna go through blue so I can see the other side. Yeah, you just like walk through, and like you can see the ride. You can see the supports of the hyper over there, but you can't see the top of the hyper. You can't see the main hyper coaster. So like you're going through this. You have this. I'm just gonna go through here. I think right here you can't. You still can't see the hyper, the terminal. You get the store seat poking through, but you know it just like hides everything. I want this area to be empty too, so you know that's deliberate. Then you go back here and it's like completely forested. I love it. You can't like you can see the edge of the ride. Like I remember like last update, you could see the area over there perfectly. There's nothing there. Now you can't see any of it, and that's like perfectly. That was 100% deliberate. Like I didn't want you to be able to see the ride. I want most of the ride to be hidden. You're like, what has happened back there? Sort of like the Beast. But yeah. So we'll go on the ride in a minute. But like, I just love this attraction. Like, this is probably like my best coaster in a while. Like, maybe not the best layout. You know, the Woody's really realistic. The only problem is with it that I have is that it might also be too smooth. Like, it's very smooth. So we're just gonna say it was like retract by gravity group or something, and that's why it's so smooth. Which honestly is a shame because I like janky wooden coasters. Now there we go. We have the ride photos right here. It looks good, you know. Yeah, it's a ride photos. Who really cares? Now I did actually do a couple of changes to the Hypercoasters ride photos. They used to be right here, and I realized it's way too close to the path, and it sort of breaks it up. So I moved it back here. So now like you're in the woods, you can't see it. Let's just look at the ride photos. Like it looks better. It also looks better. Like it's in a really good spot. But yeah, like I don't know. I feel like it doesn't like this building didn't like perfect solve my problem. Like I can still see the hyper right there. But I think it works. Like honestly, it's pretty much perfect. Like, this area took 3 weeks to build. It was an absolutely colossal area. Now, the only thing I didn't do is I didn't figure out a way to make the parachute tower cars move. I want to, but there's a reason I haven't. Someone on Discord said they are trying. There might be working on someone. They might be working on making them move. So, and it's the person who was Blue G, the same guy who makes all the flat rides. There's some flat rides. He's an absolute beast at this game. I don't understand how he does it, but actually I do. It's scaling mods, but not really, not entirely. I don't understand how the motion platforms work. So, I might have to install scaling mod just for like a couple things, like mainly really just the parachutes. Like, it just looks off. I don't like it. It just looks weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's really just the parachutes themselves. Like, if you take them off, it looks fine. But yeah, and then we have the sign for the parachutes, which isn't temporary, by the way. I'm letting you guys name it if you want to. Otherwise, we might just leave it as Parachutes Perch. But it's such a huge ride. Like this is like, I'm pretty sure the exact same as the one in Great Adventure, which is 250 feet. So this is once the tallest thrill ride in the world. And it's technically right now at least the tallest ride in the park. For now, it probably won't be at the end of the series, but it works for now. Yeah. So now I saw someone on the workshop post a park 2 days ago. I can't remember what the park was called, but in the description they mentioned they had a concert venue, and I think I want to do that. Sort of like Hershey Park has Hershey Park Stadium. I kind of want to put a concert venue in here. Like, it'd be really cool. And we're gonna have a water park. I want this to be like a full-fledged, almost resort, but not entirely a resort. Like, now this is gonna be a road over here. I'm thinking this is just gonna be a like maybe town or something. Like, I don't know what that's gonna be. It's either gonna be a highway or it's gonna be a town. But yeah, I'm probably gonna be a highway, like, or just a road into the park. Like the road to Great Adventure. I might make something like that. I can't remember what that road's called, but yeah. I think I want to put trees on the path in between the light poles. I think it'll break up the area a little bit more. Like, right now it just feels like a big pad with nothing on it besides the lamppost. I think I just want to add something in there. So honestly, everything in the park still needs a name besides the boomerang. So yeah, if you want to give me a names for any of the attractions in the park. So that includes the hammer swing, this thing, the top spin, the hyper, the dive coaster, that thing, the Museum Perla, nebulas, the Tourbillon, the parachute tower doesn't have a name, but you can name it if you want to, and the whatever this thing is, the strike, and then the wooden coaster also needs a name. So everything needs a name. So yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go and see the POV. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, where we'll probably be building down here or over here. I don't really know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.